I, 28F, have been married to my husband Sebastian, 29M, for 4 years, and it has been a wonderful journey so far, except for one constant source of tension, my SIL Hannah, 32F. Hannah has been married to Tom, 33M, for 7 years, and they've been unsuccessfully trying for a baby for the past 5 years. From the day I started dating Sebastian, Hannah had issues with me. She'd act sweet to my face but would constantly talk behind my back. I found out from Sebastian's cousins that she'd make comments about how I wasn't from a good enough family, how I was too career-focused to be a good wife, and how Sebastian could have done better. At family gatherings, she'd always find ways to exclude me from conversations or make subtle digs about my background. I chose to stay quiet about all this because I didn't want to create drama in Sebastian's family. 3 months ago, Sebastian and I found out we were expecting our first child. We were over the moon and decided to announce it at the next family dinner. The timing wasn't great because Hannah had just started her first round of IVF treatments. My Mill Linda, 58F, and Phil Robert, 60F, were helping them financially with the treatment since Hannah and Tom had recently invested all their savings into starting their own marketing agency. When we made the announcement, everyone was thrilled except Hannah. She barely congratulated us and left the dinner early claiming she had a headache. Over the next few months, her behavior got increasingly hostile. She'd skip family events if she knew I would be there, and when she did show up, she'd make passive-aggressive comments about how some people get everything handed to them while others have to struggle. Last week, we hosted my baby shower at our new house. I didn't really want to invite Hannah given her recent behavior, but Linda insisted it would look bad if we didn't. Hannah surprisingly showed up early to help with decorations. She was being unusually nice, complimenting my pregnancy glow, asking about the baby's nursery, and offering to help with everything. I should have known something was off because this was completely out of character for her. During the party, while I was opening gifts, Hannah came over with a smoothie she said she had made specially for me. She kept insisting I try it right away, saying she had made it with all my favorite fruits and added special pregnancy-safe supplements. I'm severely allergic to strawberries. It's not a mild allergy where I just get hives, but a severe one that can cause anaphylaxis. Everyone in the family knows this because during my first Christmas with Sebastian's family, I had to be rushed to the hospital after accidentally eating a chocolate-covered strawberry. I specifically asked Hannah if there were any strawberries in the smoothie. She looked me straight in the eye and said no, that she would never put something I was allergic to in my drink. The smoothie was a dark purple color, so I assumed it was probably mixed berries and trusted her word. I took a few sips while opening more gifts. Within minutes, my throat started feeling scratchy. I recognized the symptoms immediately and tried to get Sebastian's attention, but he was across the room talking to some guests. My throat started closing up rapidly and I couldn't call out anymore. The last thing I remember was knocking over a gift bag as I tried to stand up, and Sebastian screaming for someone to call an ambulance. I woke up in the hospital several hours later. The doctor said I had a severe allergic reaction. If Sebastian hadn't found my EpiPen and acted quickly, things could have been much worse. Not only could I have lost my life, but also our unborn babies. When I told everyone what happened with the smoothie, Hannah initially tried to deny putting strawberries in it. But my friend Amy, who had been in the kitchen when Hannah was making it, spoke up and said she had definitely seen Hannah adding strawberries to the blender. That's when Hannah broke down crying and claimed it was just meant to be a harmless prank. She said she only wanted to give me a mild reaction so I'd have to leave my own baby shower early. She swore she had no idea the reaction would be so severe, even though she had witnessed my previous allergic reaction years ago. Linda was absolutely furious. She told Hannah she was cutting her off completely, including stopping the IVF payments. Hannah fell to her knees crying and begging for forgiveness. She turned to me and pleaded for me to talk to Linda, saying I could fix this if I wanted to. I refused and told everyone they needed to choose, either they cut contact with Hannah or with me, because I wouldn't feel safe being around her anymore after what she did. Hannah started screaming that I was being dramatic and that she had just made a mistake. She said I was using this incident to make sure she never got to have a baby. Tom tried to calm her down but she was hysterical. They finally left when Linda threatened to call the police. The family has sided with me, but Hannah's now spreading rumors in the extended family that I orchestrated this whole thing to stop her from having a baby. She's telling people that I've always been jealous of her and that I'm manipulating her parents against her. Some of Tom's family members have been sending me nasty messages saying I destroyed Hannah's only chance at motherhood. Sebastian is furious and wants to press charges, but I'm not sure if I want to deal with the stress of a legal battle while pregnant. Linda and Robert are standing firm with their decision to cut Hannah off, but I can see how much this is hurting them. They keep saying they failed as parents somehow. Ida for making the family choose between me and Hannah? Sometimes I wonder if I should have just accepted her apology and moved on, but then I remember how she deliberately put my life and my baby's life at risk just because she was jealous. Update 1 First, I want to thank everyone for their supportive comments on my original post. The overwhelming consensus was that I wasn't wrong for setting this boundary, which helped me stay firm in my decision despite everything that's happened since then. These past 2 weeks have been absolute chaos. Hannah has escalated her behavior in ways I never thought possible. She's been sending lengthy, rambling emails to everyone in the family, not just her parents and Sebastian, but also to all the aunts, uncles, cousins, and even to my parents. In these emails, she claims she's been seeing a counselor who helped her uncover the truth about our relationship. According to Hannah's new version of events, I've been systematically manipulating everyone against her from the day I met Sebastian. She wrote that I deliberately pursued Sebastian because I knew he was her favorite brother. He's her only brother, by the way, and I wanted to hurt her by taking him away. She claims I've been copying her life, from the way I dressed to the way I decorated my house, all to make her feel inferior. The most bizarre accusation was that I deliberately got pregnant before her to steal her thunder because I somehow knew she was starting IVF. She wrote that she had overheard me on the phone months ago, plotting with someone to get pregnant before her. This is completely absurd because our pregnancy wasn't even planned, we had actually been planning to wait another year. But here's where things get really complicated. Yesterday, Hannah sent everyone, including my entire extended family, copies of medical records showing that her last round of IVF had actually been successful. According to these records, she was 4 weeks pregnant at the time of my baby shower. She claims she lost the pregnancy due to the stress of being cut off from her family, and she's blaming me for her miscarriage. This news hit Linda especially hard. She spent the entire day crying, feeling guilty about withdrawing support during Hannah's pregnancy. Tom's family has been absolutely vicious since finding out about the miscarriage. His mother called Linda at 3 a.m. last night, screaming that she and Robert had killed their grandchild by choosing me over their own daughter. The situation at Sebastian and Hannah's workplace has also become unbearable. They both work for the same large marketing firm, though in different departments. Hannah has been telling colleagues that I forced her to make me the smoothie and then faked an allergic reaction to get attention. She's saying I planted the idea of strawberries in Amy's head, and that's why Amy claimed to have seen her add them to the blender. The rumors got so bad that Sebastian had to report her to HR. He submitted my hospital records and Amy's written statement about what she witnessed. Hannah is now on administrative leave pending an investigation, which has only made her more furious. She's convinced this is further proof of my manipulation, that I somehow influenced Sebastian to report her to destroy her career. Tom contacted Sebastian yesterday, and their conversation was concerning. According to Tom, Hannah hasn't been sleeping or eating properly since being cut off from the family. She spends hours writing those long emails and has covered an entire wall of their home office with photos and sticky notes, trying to prove how I've been manipulating everyone. Tom said he's becoming increasingly worried about her mental state but doesn't know what to do. Linda and Robert are standing firm with their decision, but I can see how much this is affecting them. Linda confided in me that she keeps having nightmares about Hannah's miscarriage. Robert, who's usually very stoic, broke down yesterday while looking at Hannah's baby pictures. They've started seeing a grief counselor to help them process everything. Sebastian has been my rock through all of this, but I know it's taking a toll on him too. He had to watch his childhood videos for a case he's working on, and he ended up crying for hours seeing Hannah in them. He says he doesn't recognize who his sister has become. The extended family is now split into 2 camps. My side of the family and most of Sebastian's relatives understand why Hannah was cut off. Attempting to trigger a potentially fatal allergic reaction isn't something that can be brushed off as a prank. But Tom's family and a few of Hannah's cousins believe I'm the villain who destroyed a family and caused a miscarriage. Hannah's latest move was to create a private Facebook group called Truth About My Name, where she's been posting evidence of my manipulation. Someone showed me screenshots, and it's disturbing. She's analyzed years of my social media posts, pointing out times when I bought similar clothes to her or visited restaurants she likes, claiming this proves I've been trying to steal her identity. My doctor is concerned about how this stress might affect my pregnancy. My blood pressure has been elevated at my last 2 checkups, and she's warned me that I need to find ways to reduce stress. Sebastian and I are considering moving to a different city where his company has an office, just to get some distance from all this drama. I keep wondering if Hannah's behavior is solely due to her fertility struggles, or if there were signs of these issues before that everyone missed. Linda mentioned that Hannah had similar obsessive episodes in high school when she felt someone had wronged her, but nothing to this extent. The hardest part is knowing that this situation is probably going to get worse before it gets better. Tom seems to be reaching his breaking point, the workplace investigation is ongoing, and Hannah shows no signs of accepting responsibility for her actions. I'm trying to focus on staying healthy for my baby, but it's difficult when new accusations and drama seem to surface every day. I never wanted any of this. All I wanted was to feel safe during my pregnancy and to have healthy boundaries with someone who deliberately put my life at risk. I didn't expect it to spiral into this level of chaos and family division. Update 2: Just when I thought this situation couldn't get any more twisted, something came to light that changes everything. My best friend Lisa works as a nurse at the fertility clinic where Hannah was getting her IVF treatments. She knew she could lose her job for sharing this information, but she felt morally obligated to tell us what she discovered. According to Lisa, Hannah hadn't actually been receiving IVF treatments for the past 3 months. The clinic had suspended her treatment program because she failed their mandatory psychological evaluation. The doctor was deeply concerned about her obsessive behavior and particularly worried about her hostile attitudes toward pregnant women. During her evaluation, Hannah had apparently expressed concerning views about how she deserved to be pregnant more than other women because she had been trying longer. The real shock came when Lisa revealed that Hannah had been lying about the total cost of the treatments to her parents. She had convinced Linda and Robert that each round cost significantly more than it actually did. After doing some calculations, Linda realized she had given Hannah nearly $50,000 for treatments that never happened. All that money had actually been funneled into Hannah and Tom's struggling marketing agency. The medical records Hannah shared about her supposed miscarriage? They were manipulated. Lisa confirmed that Hannah hadn't been pregnant at all. She hadn't even been receiving treatments when she claimed to have conceived. The documents she sent to everyone were cleverly edited versions of her previous medical records. Tom had no idea about any of this. He truly believed they were still actively trying through IVF. Hannah had been telling him that they had to keep the treatments private because stress from family involvement could affect their success. She even made him promise not to discuss it with anyone, including his own parents. The workplace investigation revealed more disturbing information. HR discovered that Hannah had been using company resources to create those fake medical documents. She had been staying late at work, using the office computers to edit PDFs and access medical record templates. They found dozens of drafts in her work computer's recycle bin. When Linda confronted Hannah about all this, she tried to claim that the fertility clinic was trying to cover up their mistakes. She created an elaborate conspiracy theory about how the clinic had lost her embryos and was now trying to discredit her to avoid a lawsuit. But when Linda threatened to report the clinic to the medical board, Hannah finally broke down and admitted everything. The confession was ugly. Hannah revealed that she had stopped believing she could get pregnant naturally about a year ago. She said she couldn't bear the thought of me having a baby before her, so she had been pretending to still be trying while using her parents' money to save her failing business. She thought if she could just keep the business afloat long enough to become successful, she could eventually afford fertility treatments on her own. The Truth About My Name Facebook group has been taken down, but not before Hannah posted a long rant accusing Lisa of being part of my manipulation network. She's now telling people that I somehow orchestrated this whole revelation to further destroy her reputation. Tom is devastated. He had invested everything into their business, both financially and emotionally, believing that once it was successful, they could afford the best fertility treatments. Finding out that Hannah had been lying about still trying for a baby, while secretly using the treatment money for the business, has completely broken his trust. Linda and Robert are trying to process this betrayal. They had gone into their retirement savings to help Hannah with what they thought were medical treatments. Robert had even taken up consulting work again to help pay for it. Finding out that their daughter had been manipulating them this whole time has left them questioning everything. The extended family members who had been supporting Hannah have gone quiet. Tom's parents, who were previously calling me every day to berate me, haven't said a word since the truth came out. Hannah's cousins who were part of her Facebook group have been reaching out to apologize for believing her lies. Sebastian is struggling to reconcile this new information about his sister. He remembers how she used to make up elaborate stories in their childhood to get out of trouble, but he never imagined she would go this far. He's been going through their family photos, trying to understand when his sister became capable of such calculated deception. The company has terminated Hannah's employment following the investigation. They discovered she had also been using company time to create and manage her smear campaign against me, including sending emails to clients trying to damage Sebastian's professional relationships. Hannah's latest move was to show up at Linda and Robert's house at midnight, demanding they hear her side of the story. When they refused to let her in, she sat on their porch for hours, crying and calling them repeatedly. They finally had to call the police to have her removed. I'm still processing all of this information. Part of me feels vindicated that the truth has come out, but mostly I just feel sad. Sad for Tom, who was deceived by his wife. Sad for Linda and Robert, who were manipulated by their daughter. And yes, even sad for Hannah, who let her desperation for a baby drive her to destroy every relationship in her life. Looking back, the smoothie incident at my baby shower seems almost inevitable now. It was the desperate act of someone who had woven such an intricate web of lies that she was bound to snap eventually. I just happened to be the target when she did. Update 3. I think this will be my final update on this situation. A lot has happened in the past 3 months, and I'm currently 7 months pregnant with a healthy baby girl, thankfully unaffected by all the stress and drama. Tom filed for divorce last month. After discovering Hannah's lies about the IVF treatments and the business, he hired a forensic accountant to go through their company's finances. What they uncovered was even worse than we thought. Hannah hadn't just used the IVF money from her parents for the business, she had also taken out several high-interest loans in the company's name without Tom's knowledge. Their marketing agency, which was already struggling, is now being sold to pay back their debts. Tom discovered that Hannah had been hiding their financial troubles from him for months, showing him fake profit reports while they were actually bleeding money. The forensic accountant found that she had been moving money between accounts to create the illusion of business success. Hannah had a complete breakdown when Tom served her with divorce papers. She showed up at our new house. We had moved, but she somehow got our address at 3 a.m., completely hysterical. She was crying about how she couldn't lose everything, her baby dreams, her business, her husband, and her family all at once. When we wouldn't let her in, she sat in her car outside our house for hours, alternating between crying and screaming. We had to call the police, and they ended up taking her to a mental health facility for evaluation. She's been admitted for what the doctors are calling a severe mental health crisis. According to Tom, who is still listed as her emergency contact, the doctors diagnosed her with several underlying mental health conditions that had gone untreated for years. Linda and Robert still won't speak to Hannah, even though I've told them multiple times that I wouldn't mind if they reconciled with her. They say this isn't just about what she did to me anymore, it's about the years of manipulation and lies. They're in therapy trying to process everything, and their therapist advised them not to make any decisions about reconnecting with Hannah until they've worked through their own trauma. Sebastian and I have settled into our new city, about 3 hours away from his family. The distance has been good for us. I've finally been able to focus on my pregnancy without constant stress. Sebastian's company was understanding about the transfer once they learned about the situation, especially since Hannah had started showing up at his office after losing her job. Tom reached out to us last week to apologize again. He's selling their house and moving across the country for a fresh start. He shared something disturbing. He found Hannah's journals while packing up their home office. They revealed that she had been planning the smoothie incident for weeks. She had actually researched allergic reactions and calculated how much strawberry to add to cause distress without being lethal. The premeditation makes the whole thing even more chilling. The extended family has completely shifted their stance. Tom's parents, who were originally some of my harshest critics, sent me a long apology letter. They admitted they had enabled Hannah's behavior over the years by always believing her version of events without question. They're now in family therapy with Tom, trying to understand how they missed the signs of Hannah's declining mental health. Linda and Robert have been our biggest supporters through all of this. They've already converted their home office into a nursery for when we visit with the baby. Robert retired from his consulting work, saying he wants to focus on being a grandfather instead of earning money for treatments that were never real. As for Hannah, she's still in the mental health facility. Her doctors say she needs long-term treatment, and for now, that seems like the best place for her. The facility has a strict communication policy, so she can't continue her smear campaign or harass anyone. I sometimes think about how differently things might have turned out if Hannah had gotten help years ago when she first started struggling with infertility. But I can't dwell on what-ifs. Sebastian and I are focusing on preparing for our daughter's arrival, and I'm grateful to have such supportive in-laws who chose truth and accountability over blind family loyalty. The whole experience has taught me that sometimes the hardest boundaries to set are the most necessary ones. While I never wanted things to end this way, I know that standing firm against Hannah's behavior was the right thing to do, not just for me and my baby, but ultimately for Hannah too, since it finally got her the help she needs.